Hello my dear Scorpio, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between March 16 and March 31st, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of March in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video. There is a new subscription service up on my webpage that you can take part of if you want to learn more about spiritual growth, yoga and tarot. For this reading, I used the Tarot of the Hidden Realm by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Julia Jeffrey, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, when I open your deck here, I see the Eight of Swords with Two of Wands. So it seems like you're really trying to behave or to take control over yourself. Maybe you see a value in this, and maybe you want to be invited in certain circuits, so you're trying to hold yourself back. With the Eight of Swords, it can be a little bit overthinking. Two of Wands can sometimes be a little bit too much control. We see also the contrast between these two pictures, one being pitch black and the other one being very bright and happy. Two of Wands is usually not that, like, it's usually more serious card, but here it shows like two entities playing happily together, and this one being alone with a raven. So it might be two sides to you, like one side being a loner, the other one wants to have social happenings, but you're caught somewhere in the middle maybe. Okay, I call the Divine with Love and Light, and here we have Six of Cups with the Two of Wands. So I'm thinking you're trying to hold yourself back, maybe to get something back into your life, or to get harmony into your life. The Six of Cups is about beautiful relationships in harmony with one another, also nostalgia about what has been, or trying to better something, like make something better. It's also this childhood and past life card, so it might be that you have some certain pattern or karma that you're trying to become the master of. Okay, so I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we have Eight of Cups with the Two of Wands. So you might be a little bit fed up with someone as well. Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups with the Two of Wands. It feels like people are eating away at you a little bit, like you're losing patience with them, or they have too high of demands of you, or they want you to fit in somewhere. Eight of Cups is like when you're trying to do as people say, you're trying to please them, but whatever you do, it's not ever enough, so you just get really tired of it or get sick of it. It might also be that you have given a lot of energy to someone, try to be nice towards them, try to give them what they wanted, and they were not satisfied anyway. So no matter what you do, kind of. I call the six elements earth, wind. The blasted beach here is the Tower. Fire, water, spirit and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. So the Tower and Two of Swords, again with these extremities. The Tower is like a flash from above or something falling. Two of Swords is probably you trying to avoid it to fall. So Magician, trying to get control, getting on top of things. Also with the Emperor, well, you might be able to pull it off. Ace of Pentacles with Seven of Cups. It's some kind of new beginning that could be very prosperous if you get on top of your sometimes a little bit destructive emotions. So maybe that is what you're trying to get hold of. Maybe you're trying to force yourself into becoming like the bigger person, or a person that can handle also a difficult situation graciously and with patience. And yes, kind of what I'm feeling. But with the Tower and the Two of Swords, you're trying to avoid some kind of disaster, and with the Magician you might be able to to do that, but it's kind of unusual. Okay. So I will tune in for a few seconds here. Okay, my dear Scorpios, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. And in the past, here we have Six of Cups, so it might have been some kind of reconciliation, joined of hearts, two people coming together in some mutual understanding, forgiveness, making amends, trying to make more harmonious situations for yourself and for others. So it's a very sweet card, and we have the Tower there. So I'm thinking this is a memory of something, like you lost something and now you don't want to lose it again, so you're trying to be nice here. Ten of Cups, Six of Cups, so this is something that's very valuable to you, and it's also making you maybe feel very secure. So if you lose it, you lose your footing. So you're trying to be very grown up about this. Here we have a Knight of Swords as well. So it's hard when we have kind of the enemy within. I'm not meaning really an enemy. I'm just meaning that you are fighting with something inside of you that I think really have a beautiful high spirit. It's just that maybe in our society it's not really tolerated to be so... it's not, I'm not feeling this rebel without a cause thing. I'm more feeling like you don't just obey, you follow some kind of other higher calling. I can't explain it really. And here we have the High Priestess in the now. So the High Priestess is this higher calling, the Star, the High Priestess, Nine of Swords. It has caused you a lot of trouble to be a little bit like having this new high energy. It's a little bit like you are one step ahead of the rest of the humanity. Maybe you are a little bit more, like you are a little bit more clear in your thinking, or clear in your mind, or you have this higher frequency of being, but because of that you can't really make yourself understood with other people. It's like you're talking a different language, but yet it's a much more accurate language. It's a little bit difficult also for me to understand this, but I'm thinking that you need to rely on yourself, even if who you are or what you are is upsetting other people. You're still supposed to be this, but maybe with moderation, so people can get used to this new stuff here. Okay, and this is into the future, and here we have a beautiful Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups is your inner heart. So yes, and here we have the Ten of Wands. You came here with a certain mission to be fully yourself, but it costs to be yourself. Like, it's hard to get other people to understand you, and here is the process of getting other people to understand you, and you do it with love. So I'm thinking you're very gracious. You're holding back the edgy sides of you that you know is hard for people to tolerate, and you walk the way of love instead, and a universal language that everyone can understand. Also animals, like dogs, understand love very beautifully. Most animals do. So I'm thinking you might be a little bit too advanced into the future, but if you use the language of love, you will make yourself clear. Okay, so then people will understand, and things will come to harmony. It's very beautiful. So you don't have to feel that, oh, they are also stupid, they are way back in the past, they don't evolve, they are ancient, whatever it is that you are opposing towards, people not understanding new ideas or whatever it is. You can just be okay with it, because you can't force your conscious level upon someone else. What you can do is to love them unconditionally, and don't take their conscious level personal, and just try to communicate on the level which another person can understand. So it looks very gracious. Okay, so in the past we have a Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups, Six of Cups is definitely some kind of forgiveness or making amends, or I think you have kind of given up something because it wasn't worth fighting for. Wasn't worth fighting for being right, or knowing like stuff that other people didn't know, that just made them worried. It seems like here you're just gracious about it, and someone might be very gracious towards you as well, and meeting you halfway, or you might be met with like someone wants to apologize to you, and it was here in the past. And we have the World card, so whatever you did here with love was putting you on your highest path towards your highest destiny. It was making you like boom, just connecting with the whole world and on a totally much higher frequency. And it looks very beautiful. 21, the World. This can be a soulmate relationship here also. Someone also seeing you as their life quest, or you see someone or something as a life quest. And here we have the shadow dance. So this is the other side of you that I think is like a little too advanced, or it can also be like a dark side of you that wants power and control, but it's in the same time it's not bad per se, okay, but it's a side of you that other people might not be able to accept like right away. So you can use this energy as your superpower. You don't have to always like be in this energy. You can put forward this more rebellious energy like when it's needed. It's kind of this energy what I'm seeing here, and with a life renewed, like you're coming with something new that also might be a knowledge that's very old, but in your everyday relationship, it's just causing a little bit of, or a lot of destruction. So you're learning when to use your superpower and not. Usually people are comfortable to be themselves with their closest family, at workplaces, in school, etc. They can be more modest. So I'm thinking it's often we give the most difficult challenges to the people we love. And it might be that you're doing the other way now. You are being more difficult towards the people that you think actually deserves it, that also make your life difficult. And you're nice towards the people that's close to you and that you have a heart connection to. So that's much more brave than doing it the other way around, the classical way, like a person being really well behaved and saying yes, yes, yes all day to the boss or the teacher at school, and when they come home they are really mad and like dictating the family what they are going to do, and being like really impatient and angry. So I'm thinking you are doing it the other way. It seems like you're taking value in the inner core of things and having like an outer good protective shell, or it's not a shell, it's more the core of you that you use as a shell. I'm seeing like an egg, that's the outer shell, is really the core of you, but it's protecting what's more vulnerable within you. I can't really explain it, but better than that, okay? So I hope you get it better than I do, because this message is for you apparently. So, and here we have a Page of Cups. So we see it kind of goes down, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. So here we come to the really delicate pieces of you. There's a reason to why you're trying so hard to make your closest relationships more harmonious, because you need it. You are vulnerable. The core of you is vulnerable. You need other people. You don't want to be alone or always be seen as the one that goes against the stream. And it might be coming through beautiful messages for you also, loving messages, or you might be sending loving messages to someone. And here we have the Six of Swords. So that's when logic and heart has united within you. And it seems to be together with this quest of yours. It's like it was time. I'm feeling that it was time for you to come to a certain understanding. It's like when we're going through the year or through our lives, there's certain guiding posts it's a certain energy that's going to remind us about our mission. And here you were reminded about your mission in a way that made your relationships or your situation more harmonious. It's another six of swords, 6 of cups. And it's with the divine feminine energy. So I'm thinking you have found a more receptive way to get your will through. Something that's less destructive and much more, it's stronger, it's more resilient, because it's also building on things. It's building on your relationship. It's adding to your like credit that you have with other people. They are getting to like you more because you are acting in much more wise way. It's like you have calmed down in some way and become I'm seeing like a Buddha almost, like a person that's enlightened, or how I can say. And here you have a Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is truth, and it comes underneath the shadow dance. So you haven't really left this rebel totally. It's just that you're ready with the sword whenever it's needed, and you're not using it all the time. So I think you have learned to temper yourself in a very beautiful way. So now you use this energy whenever it's called for. It's not like all the time. And it might also be that you have been you might be in a twin flame relationship with maybe an air sign or an earth sign, because it comes to children here. It might be also to children in your life, or to young people like underneath the age of 21. These might, in other cases, it can be like a twin flame relationship with this is one person's inner core and the other person's inner core. And we see the 6 of Swords in between. So it might be that if you are the watery person here, the airy person might have been rather difficult in your life, causing some trouble, but now decided to kind of not work together with you, but at least not argue with you, okay? And it might be another side inside of you also that put down their arms a little bit and not always picking a fight, because the fight isn't necessary. It's like it has been a fight for power and control, and that fight is no longer necessary. And here we have the high priest. It's 2, and we have 2 pages here. So the pages are usually antennas to other worlds. And here's the connection between heart, this page, and head, this page. So it's like these 2 entities have merged, okay, into one. So your head and heart is now in harmony. And why they are in harmony, it's because you don't make yourself crazy anymore. Before, maybe you were rebel towards people or situations because you didn't really align with yourself. You didn't feel safe with yourself, so it was like you always had to defend your position. But now, because you have become much more mature and secure, you're also much calmer, and you believe in yourself. You don't judge yourself so much anymore. It's just like, this is how I am, and you're just going with it. And then everything is becoming much more lighter, because before it was a little bit like you were fighting towards some enemy that wasn't even there. It was just in your head. And when you stop with that and you just love yourself fully, now this beautiful union between your head and heart happened. So there's no conflict anymore inside of you. There's nothing to battle about. So it's peace here. And it's a wise kind of peace. The kind of peace that doesn't come from 2 forces being like equally strong, so one could take out and kill the other, so therefore it's peace. But this is more the peace of a mind that has evolved, okay, into something higher that hasn't to do with power and control anymore. And here is the future, and here we have the 2 of Wands. So and it seems it's Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. So it seems like you're holding your horses here again to play nice and to be nice in a certain situation. I think it's good. 2-2, the 2 pages. You're working out something with the duality, that you don't have to see the things outside of you as separate from you. It's just another you. So you're more friendly with it, and you're not so aggressive anymore. So you're holding your horses a little bit. And here we have a King of Swords. So it seems like your counterpart might be able to do this too, to also look at things from an above perspective. This is Aquarius. You also have Aquarius there with the Star card. Aquarius, both Aquarius and the High Priestess here can be a little bit aloof. Like they are not really, they are not too invested in their relationships because they have such a high self-esteem and such a calmness inside themselves, and being able to see things from a higher perspective, so they kind of don't mind what happens, and it can make them seem rather cold and detached. So it might be that you're trying to avoid someone's judgment, like you feel that someone gets very cold on you, and to avoid their judgment you're trying to behave. Okay, and here we have a King of Wands as well, so 2 kings. Knight of Cups, 6 of Swords, King of Wands. I'm thinking this is a person that you love, and this is a little bit more a person that you fear. It might be 2 sides of the same person, and it might be 2 sides with you. One side that's more revolutionary, outspoken, authentic. Another side that's a little bit more mysterious, more wise, more silent. So you might have these 2 parts with yourself. But they all go back to the source. You might have a little bit like a split personality, not like it's something clinical wrong with you, just that you have 2 very strong sides of you that's can be a little bit hard for you to balance up these 2 very strong sides. One side can be very cold, while the other one is very passionate and strong. It's very interesting, these 2 cards. But kings, and it's the masculine kings, so it's the warrior kings. But I'm thinking you're holding them back. So even if you have superpowers like this, like being like a real warrior king, you're not using it to destruction. So it's good, but it's always a potential for destructive situation with these kind of superpowers. So that's probably why you have thought that is as a shadow. But now I think you are well aware of these sides of you, and you're using them whenever you are in need to. That's very, it's great actually. Okay, so I will take a card for you here with this interesting reading here. See what it's about, like the core issue for Scorpio. Thinker. Yes, you seem to have become more of a thinker. Like you think before you speak, you think before you act, you hold your horses, you premeditate things. So it's very grown up of you. And you also seem to have this self-love. So you're not judging yourself and thinking, oh God, as long as I don't make a mistake. It's not like that. It's more like you love yourself, but you also love other people. So you have become much more gracious about things. Thinker. Endings, completions, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn. Or, no, that's the wrong card. 44. Time to go. Maybe it's time to go for some of you. From old behaviors. Strategy, being analytical and logical. That was more accurate. The ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. King of Swords. It's very much this. Reason and strategies. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculation will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. So I'm thinking you have become very much authentic. So what was before hidden and a shadow to you is now brought to the light. Things it can have been bad habits, being non-authentic, having plans and schemes. Things like this might have been your superpower in the dark, but now it's your superpower in the light. So you still have these abilities. It's just that you are open with your cards. It's like you're showing, like, this is who I am, but I'm not doing it anymore because I'm a bigger person now, and also you're much more cooler, I will say. Love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it's good to have things in common other than desire. This is the time to weigh the pros and cons of your partnership. If there is enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fishes in the sea. Don't force it to work, and should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy. No matter what, in this case, the facts are facts. Yes, if you're dealing with a person like this, and they are saying to you, for example, maybe it's better that we become friends. I don't want to be in a committed love relationship, whatever. Trust them that this is how it is. So sometimes you need to look at cold, hard facts as well. It's all swords here and the King of Wands. So even if you're very attracted to someone, what is what is, and it's just they are mirroring another side of you that also might be very cool and cold. So for some of you, Scorpio, you are the outer shell here, and the inner core is a little bit more numb, or what I can say, it's maybe not really as passionate as you would wish, and it might make you try to jump through hoops to make them love you, but don't do that. Okay, you can be nice, you can be gracious, you can do like the best you can to make a relationship work, but don't try to rewrite the story. Even if you love a person very much and they can be very like uninterested in you, like they can be interested in you on a certain level, but not the level maybe that you are hoping for. And I'm not saying this to cause you to be worried, just to be awake. If a person says something, believe them, okay? Calculated action is called for now. It's important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. Lists are your friends now, so get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategy partner is spirit. You will win this game, and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. And so I'm thinking this list can also be of red flags in a relationship. Like, write up all the red flags with a person that might seem to be maybe you have a harmonious relationship, but it's not as passionate as you would have wanted. So you might write the red flags and also communicate them. Like, this is what you said, what did you mean, and so on. You might be suffering from analysis paralysis. I don't see that so much with you, but you're holding back a little bit. But I think this is you testing out something new. Thinking has its place, but trying to figure everything out logically is not going to work right now. Your conclusions will likely be faulty, and you may act upon false assumptions that will get you in jam. Give your mind a rest. Do something creative, exercise, or meditate. Soon a aha moment will bring new clarity. I'm thinking it might be how this other part of you is working, like this thinking part of you that has this color, that it might be a little bit over analytical, and therefore it's not really fully alive. Scorpios are usually very passionate, so this can be a total other person, but they are trying to teach you something. They are trying to teach you about control, and it seems like you're listening very good to this and getting the message. So I'm not worried about you. Okay, here, my dear Scorpios, we'll see what the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle has to say to you at this time. Princess of Purity leaps across. It's a new one, 24. 44 and 24. So, I have such faith in you that I have placed what appears to be an obstacle in your way. It is actually a stepping stone that will help you rise. If there were no challenge, how would you gain trust and confidence in yourself? And I really see that you gain trust and confidence in yourself. In me. How would you get confidence in me? Through my grace, I'm giving you an invisible boost. You shall leap over this obstacle with such lightness of heart and foot. You shall then believe that anything is possible. During a challenge, trusting in divine grace is so helpful. Perhaps you hoped for the best, wanting to trust that the godness in people would somehow win through and turn a mess into an opportunity for healing, but perhaps the situation didn't quite work out as you had hoped. Or maybe you feel everyone is doing their best, but something is still blocking the way to resolution and healing. The oracle of Princess of Purity leaps across, arises when there is something of an obstacle or challenge that you are growing through. It may be creating an inner sense of unease or discomfort that you feel but cannot quite explain. The good news is that you are being blessed with an empowerment of grace. You are going to be given the power to overcome the obstacle. If someone is trying to pull you into their drama, you have permission to simply refuse to take it on board. It's not for you. Have compassion as you set clear boundaries. This is a way to love yourself more. If you have been seeking a way through an issue, you are being asked to let go of your plans and open up to divine intercession. Don't worry about controlling the outcome. Just accept the way through. That will be showing itself to you. It's likely to be a method of sidestepping or leaping over the situation altogether. So I'm thinking like this, that some of you are dealing with a situation with a person that's very cold and detached. While there can be a number of reasons why they are like this. I think it might be a person that's very controlled, and why they are controlled is because they are scared. So they try to have things under control and act very adult and cool and detached. And you might need to call their bluff by, you know, if a person says, well, I just want to be friends, you just say, okay, so from now on we'll just friends. Or if they say, well, I don't want to be an item, you say, okay, so then you give the clearance now so you can date others. So you're listening to people, and instead of trying to shield them from things that would be destructive, you are facing them with their own words, okay? And for you cross-watchers, this might be also a situation that is the Scorpio might be doing this. So it might be advice for you also that if you have a Scorpio that's cold and detached, believe them and heed them and say, okay, so we'll do it your way. We take down this relationship, take it apart, drift apart, put us apart. And you just, instead of continuing fighting for someone that anyway has put themselves in this, like they're trying to, it's like they're trying to find something better than you, or something that's more interesting, or like you haven't really caught their attention. So I'm thinking you need to turn this, whatever situation it is, you turn it upside down. Whatever you resisted before, you go with it now. And this is, I don't even have to advise you this because it seems like you're doing this naturally. Okay, my dear Scorpio, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care. And for you that have watched it this far, I also want to invite you to my subscription service where you can teach much more about how to pull away from relationships that's not good for you, how to cut cords and send back people's because this person can look like very tough, but they can be very insecure. So they're trying to make you insecure, so you will be the insecure one. So they tell you things like that you're not good looking enough, that you're not good enough, that you they don't want to be together with you, they don't want to do that with you, and it's just so they cause drama. So you will be dramatic and sad, but really you are the shell here. You are the strong one. You are the shell of the egg, and they are the vulnerable one. So if you shift the situation and say, yes, okay, well, you're ugly too. No, don't say that. But if someone is rude, you need to hold up a mirror a little bit. So I'm just saying that. And and also, yes, call them on what they are doing. Say, yes, okay, so I see that this relationship isn't what I hoped it would be. You are not that interested in me, and therefore we're going with what you're saying. So we won't see that much of each other anymore. So because you had, I started to read from this, it's time to go. So you might be starting to need to start voicing this with your partner if you have this kind of problems, that it's time for you to go, that and you have been the strong one, so don't for a second think that you have been the weak one. And this reading is also for the cross watchers, so I don't think that this kind of Scorpio would actually view my reading. I think it will be this kind of Scorpio that will watch, or the one that's together with the Scorpio. Okay. So bless your heart, and I welcome you back to my April reading that I will perform in the middle of March. So take good care until then, and bye bye.